Thank you for joining another great edition of Chef and the Fox and Friends. We have a lot of great action today. We've got some action on the pitch. We've got some plays already coming out right now. A lot of those plays kick off at 10 o'clock, so if you're not on them, get on them as quick as you possibly can. Be able to see there. We're going to here give a couple minutes for everyone to kind of chime in that's going to come in. We've got couple of special guests. We've got Sean Shorkey talking NCAA basketball. We've got Chef Michael coming in. We're going to be discussing soccer all day. We're going to be discussing any live action that's going on. We're going to have a ton of games. Our friends at Soccer 2-4, once again, bringing us the live scoreboard so we can see, don't miss any minute of the action that's going on. Also at 10:35, special guests. Locke is going to come on and discuss some hockey at 10:35, so you want to be on there. Sean's also going to have some takes and some early looks at tomorrow's Australian Open. So making sure if you want to get some future actions, head-to-head matches, things of that nature. Let's go and let me start off first, just showing you what I'm on right at 10 o'clock. Just kicked off. I know some of you can still get on a live. We're on Arsenal money line. This is the one I'm not as saying, but I got to take Arsenal. It's a good look here. The only issue that I have is Aubameyang. Obviously, the red card from last week. He can't play this week. So hopefully Lacazette figures out where he is, but Pepe starts. So I've always really liked Pepe. Hopefully he comes into play. Royal Charlie in the Belgium League. Uconn is terrible. They're one of the worst teams in the league. I think they played last time and it was like 6-1. They're giving you a solid money line. I love that play. Dortmund money line, that kicked off at 9:30. We're at a 0-0 game. Dortmund just keeps constantly taking shots on goal, so that's starting to look pretty good. We've got Real Madrid kicking off right now at 10 o'clock in a great game versus Sevilla. I think Real Madrid is ready to show their class today. I like the lineup that they're bringing out there. Hopefully, we should be able to cash the win. And then later, if you haven't got on anything, 3 o'clock, Atletico Madrid. My one college basketball look that I looked was Wichita State -3. I really like that look. They're playing a tough Houston team, but I think they'll be able to cover the 3 at home. Sean, what are you looking at for today?
So I was looking down looking at the list. The first one that kind of stood out to me was Uconn at Villanova. I think the line's at 9.5 right now. I would have liked it better if it was at 10, but I still think 9.5 is good. And I kind of had it in my projections as like an 8-point game. But I just think like Connecticut's just undervalued here. And it's because they've lost 3 out of their last 4. And that was that double overtime they went into with like Wichita State. And I think they lost by 3 there. And then they came back in that game. They were able to keep it close with, I think Wichita State's they're a top 20 team right now, or I don't know if they're top 10. But I think Nova is just overvalued. Nova had in their game against DePaul, I think that was on Wednesday, they had it was a similar line. It was 9.5 points. And I think Nova like barely pulled that out, if I remember correctly. But if DePaul had won that game, this line would be like 7 or 7.5 points. So I feel like this number it's bumped up, and I feel like UConn can keep this close. I think they have somewhat of a matchup advantage on the inside too against Nova. So I really like UConn at plus 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5 is a whole lot of points. What do you think of the total in this game? UConn's games generally play around in the 60s. They're giving you 136 total, which I see goes up. It was at 135. Any look on the total?
On the total, I mean, I would lean towards the over just because of I think of Nova's ability to just they also do have the ability to just explode at any point and just start putting up points if they want to. So I would lean the over, and I would think that this game is going to be, since it's going to be within 9 points, we're probably going to get to the end where there'll probably be some fouling going on, and both of these teams, and I would like to think that UConn will probably be trailing. So with UConn trailing, I think at the end they'll be fouling a Villanova team that's really good at shooting their free throws. So I think that number will creep to the over. So yeah, I'd lean.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can see the over. Just if it's played at Nova's place, I can definitely see that. Going live real quick, we just got an easy goal by Augsburg. Gorgeous pass in the middle, no goalie. Boom. All he's got to do is tap it in, taps it in. Unfortunately, Dortmund down 1-0. But I thought this was definitely going to be a both teams to score match, so I'm not too upset at that. I think that's really good. One thing I was going to say would actually hit kicked off, so that really sucks because I was looking at live action. Was this Brighton game that you're looking at? I would just want to get on two things why it's still 0-0. There's two games that are very, very interesting. You've got Brighton versus Aston Villa team, which has basically everybody and their mother either injured, they lost their goalie for the year, they're playing with their backup goalie. If they were giving you plus money, I'm waiting to see if we can get to the 15th minute with no goal and get plus 140, plus 150 in this game. I definitely recommend it. The other game I'm really watching is that Bournemouth game. Bournemouth game was plus 240. Yes, Bournemouth has been terrible form. Terrible form. But they're playing another team that's in terrible form. And if you're going to give me plus 200, when I think the competitive advantage on the pitch is actually with Bournemouth for the quality of the players, I'm just waiting. Hopefully another 15-minute game. If we can get 0-0 and kind of pounce on that, that should be kind of nice. Sorry, Sean. What else are you looking at?
The other one I saw, it's Butler at Depaul. I think like if you look at this, you'd think it's like a conventional bounce back spot, right? Like Butler just lost to Seton Hall. But I actually like Depaul not to win because Depaul doesn't really in close games they can't seem to close. But I like Depaul to cover. I think it's 4.5 right now. The 4.5 points. I think this Butler.
Yeah, it's 3.5 right now.
Oh, it's
I see it at 3.5. Yep.
Oh, so it came down. Yeah, so I liked Depaul there only because they've lost 3 out of their last 4. They're at home, and I think like Seton Hall like exposed. I think they exposed Butler. Especially on like the inside, they were able to take advantage of that. And I think Depaul has like Depaul also plays a similar style. And the same way like Romero for Seton Hall took advantage of them, I think Depaul can too. They could keep it close. But I see that it went down to 3.5. I still kind of like that. I think I think Butler pulls this out like really late. But maybe now that if it's getting down lower than that, I'd be kind of like shaky to get on that.
That means you're on the right side right now from a money perspective.
I still like them because it's kind of like you're a desperate team and you're at home, you're getting 4 points, and you have a matchup advantage inside the arc against Butler. So I feel like this would be a good spot for Depaul to keep it close. I think Butler is going to straight up win this. I mean, I don't see them losing 2 in a row. But I think
Butler wins, but you think Depaul covers?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the one thing I was just going to tell you.
It's like a 3-point game is what I have it at. Like Butler would win by 3, and the 4.5 that was earlier this morning, I guess now it's getting pushed down, to 3.5.
Yeah, the history of this goes the other way. That's what I was going to make sure you were aware of. Butler has beat DePaul 11-1 in their last 12 meetings.
Yeah.
So
I don't expect DePaul to win this at all. But I just saw a little bit of value there. I thought with the 4.5 points, only because of the similar style that they play like Seton Hall does, and they'd be able to take advantage of what the same thing. But again, now at 3.5, it just kind of I'd probably just stay off of that one.
Just wait for a live, see if you can get anything above 4.
Yeah, okay. I'd say that is better play. The Auburn at Florida game, I definitely would take Florida here. I think it's kind of a similar spot to Butler. Like, kind of reminds me of like Ohio State, right? Ohio State in the beginning, they were never as good as their record, and it kind of started to show. And I think Auburn now, they got kind of exposed at Alabama, and I think they're going to start seeing some regression over the next month. And I think like they'll I guess it says who was it? The one coach said, they are who we thought they were. They they're not. They're going to start. I think losing a couple of games from here, they're going to start. The record's going to start catching up with all the talent that they lost last year. And I think Keontae Johnson and Blackshear, I think they give them an advantage over Auburn's interior. So I see Florida winning here at home. I think it's 1.5 points. It might be at 2 right now, but I like that a lot. I like Florida to pull off a win here and show and give Auburn their recession that they've been looking for.
I think this is an absolute big game for Florida to actually prove that they're in this and they can actually play. They need to win this game. If they don't, they're
they have everything. They're at home.
Bound, but yeah,
they're at home. They have the matchup advantage. So everything points to, and again, Auburn 15-0. They get exposed. They lose, and I just think the market catches up with Auburn, and they drop this one too. So yeah, I think Florida's a huge play here. So anybody who's looking at that right now, get on it now. I'm sure more people will be betting that.
What are you looking at the total? Sorry.
Probably under here. Just because, I mean, Florida, they're, I think Florida's like, I mean, I really don't, I would lean towards the under, but, Florida's shooting is what scares me. I think like they can also go on inconsistent like streaks during the game. So that's why I'd lean towards the under, but I don't know. What about you? You got any side on it? Or?
They average 70 points a game. Right. To me, I guess it's a question of what kind of pace. I think if Florida plays in an up and down pace, I actually like Auburn to win. I know we're going head to head here, but I think Auburn is going to be pissed that they lost the last game to Alabama. Right. And I think the way that game was called, that was really ticky-tacky the entire game, which definitely favored Alabama. I don't see Florida having the same driving capability of basically of what Alabama was able to do. I mean, you sit there and you look at their team, and yes, you've got some very good players. I love the freshman Scotty Lewis. He's actually tremendous. He's probably the one guy that I think that can consistently drive and get to the paint. But they played through Blackshear. So I like I said, I like Auburn, so I like the over. I think Florida also averages in the 70s. Auburn averages the high 70s. I think both teams are going to allow teams to shoot threes pretty much most of the time uncontested. It's just going to be if they're falling. That's the thing. Also want to sit there. Twatty decided us not to join us in Wingate 2.0. And he's joined us in the chat. He's given us a play. If you guys didn't see it, NC State. What is it? NC State AT&T. Some school that like no one's heard of.
North Carolina A&T, I think.
AT&T versus Coppin State, which is actually in my backyard. Under 146 is one of his plays. I know Chef Michael's a little late showing up, but wanted to let you know he gave away on SBR Lazio halftime, full time. They're up 3-0. That game is an absolute joke. Real Madrid kicked off, giving a little there. Freiburg scores to make it 2-0. There's actually 0 goals in the Premier League in 15 minutes, so we're going to look up for some live action that we could possibly get on. Sean, you said you got one more play. What are you looking at?
I was looking at Ohio State at Penn State. So this one, the last time these guys played, they played in December, and Ohio State just jumped out to like a quick lead, and I think Penn State was just left behind. I think in the second half, Penn State did come back, and they tried to they tried to close the gap, but then what's his name? I think it was like Lamar Stevens. He fouled out for Penn State, and then with like 13 minutes left, and then they had no shot in hell coming back on that one. But it's this is a Big Ten game. We know what the Big Ten record is now: 38-5 at home. You have Penn State looking for revenge. They just lost that game to who did they play last? I forgot who they played. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday. And Ohio State's been struggling. Like they started out really good, but they're missing. They have no Dwayne Washington, no Luther Muhammad. They're hurting, and they're coming off They're actually coming off a win, I think. Yeah, Ohio State, they beat Nebraska, was it? I had that game. I think you had it too. It was like 17.5. Yep. Nebraska to cover, and I think they backdoor covered that spread. But they're coming off a win, and Penn State's at home, coming off a loss. Everything in this spot, the whole narrative, and it's a Big Ten matchup, points to Penn State, and it's a pick'em too. So, Penn State, I see them rolling here at home. But I wouldn't be necessarily fading Ohio State because it's kind of a dangerous spot too, because Ohio State's been losing, right? And this, they went from being a contender to they may not even make it. Like they have 2 weeks, basically. It's crunch time. So, losing this game is another loss for them. They still have opportunities to win games coming up, matchups. So they're not completely in trouble. This is not like a must win, but, it definitely hurts if they lose it here too. So, I still think Penn State wins this at home today, but going forward, Ohio State's backs are gonna be against the wall. So in future matchups, just look for them to come out and roll.
Well, Ohio State's also down to only 2 scholarship guards on the team. Right. They dismissed 2 players in the last game, right before the last game. So yeah, I definitely could see Penn State coming there. I mean, the Lions won. You're not getting a whole lot on that. I mean, would you recommend taking this now, or would you recommend taking it?
I would take it now. I think I would take it now. I would take Penn State now. I took them this morning. I didn't see the one. I had them at a pick'em. I think it was like -115 is what I got. So I ended up taking them on the money line. But yeah. Penn State, they get their revenge here. Ohio State's just, in trouble right now, and a perfect spot here for Penn State to bounce back after that loss that they had.
Okay, I could definitely see that. I have no issues with that. That's anything on the later games.
The later games, the only thing I saw that stood out to me was Mizzou at Alabama. When is Mizzou at Alabama? That might be later. I saw that because there's an overreaction. This is strictly just a market play because there's an overreaction of Alabama beating Auburn. So now all of a sudden it's 6 points because, and kind of like you were saying before, that game was kind of ticky-tacky the way that it was officiated. And Auburn, again, I think they were better than, they were worse than what their record showed. So now Alabama beat them, and everybody's like, oh man, Alabama just beat this undefeated team, and the line's at 6. So I think, taking Mizzou with the +6 to cover that looks like a good spot play for me right there. Even without Tillman, I think they still go into Alabama and they'll keep it within that number.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. What's your take on the Maryland game? The line's getting bet up. We went from 4 to 5. Now I'm seeing 6s across the board.
I'm trying to. I'm actually looking at the app right now to see. So you see 6 right now?
Yeah, I'm seeing 6. I see a 6 in a couple places. Yep. My local's throwing to me a 6, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is it's again Big Ten play. I don't see Maryland losing this game at home, especially since they've been Maryland's just been up and down, man. They just they've lost they've lost 2 in a row. They lost at Iowa, they lost at Wisconsin. Now they're back home. they need to definitely win this. So I see Maryland here, winning this game. I have it at, I think, let me find out. A second here. So I had this game projected at like 5.5. So yeah, the 6 is fine. I think Maryland rolls at home with the 6 points. So I would take that. I don't see necessarily an advantage, but like an edge here. But the 5.5, 6 seems good. I think the 4 would have been really great if that's what it was earlier. But I think still at 6 there's still value there. But anything above that, I wouldn't take that.
Yep. Swans allowing me to keep a little bit of face here. Tied the game. They were losing 1-0. Southampton takes the lead over 1-0 over a Wolves team. Yeah, I like Maryland at 5. I'm not a big fan at the 5.5 or the 6. I think Maryland wins the game. I actually think Maryland, for all intents and purposes, blows them out. Yeah. I don't think this is a very good Purdue team. I think the key phase of what you said in the previous games was at Wisconsin. They're on the road. This Maryland team is definitely a fade in the first half. Back at home, I mean, they beat Indiana home. They beat Bryant at home. They beat Illinois at home. They beat Notre Dame at home. They haven't lost at home for almost forever, and they generally cover pretty big spreads. This should be a pretty decent game here. It's on ESPN2. They should be a little bit kind of powered up for this game. So I think Maryland covers. I definitely wouldn't take them above 5, but I think they easily take over the 5. But I think you lose value once you go above 5 and you get that backdoor cover possibility.
Right.
Rich G talking Texas, Kansas over 129. These low totals are killing me.
I know they're so like these 129s and these 130s are like I don't know what to do because it's so low and nobody wants to go under 129 unless it's like Virginia playing.
Yeah, if it's Virginia Syracuse, you look and you go, yeah, we could take under 129. If it's not, you're like, gun to my head, maybe I make a play. But yeah, I can definitely see over 129. That's just too low of a total for those two teams. The only issue we worry is, as you mentioned last week, Kansas cannot shoot free throws. They're terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're one of the they're one of like the worst teams. They're actually like one of the bottom. They're like in the bottom like 20 like teams that are free throw shooting. So they don't win close games. If any game is ever close and it requires free throws, like they're fucked. They can't. They're not.
Let's fast forward to the play of the day, which is probably the only play that's going to screw me at one point. Gonzaga BYU at 10 p.m. If you know me, I'm sorry. Keep riding it till she bucks you.
Yeah,
we're taking first half Gonzaga. We're taking first half over, and we're taking full game over. And we're taking Gonzaga. I'm sorry, it's the KC special, but it's the best bet in NCAA basketball besides first half Maryland on the road. Take the other team. Until it doesn't happen, and I know BYU is supposed to get, but again, it's BYU. I don't think they have the length, and again, it's a game. I sit there and I look and I go, if any game is going to possibly slow it down, but again, this is also at Gonzaga. This is not like it's on the road.
Right.
This is at Gonzaga. At Gonzaga, I think Gonzaga dictates the pace. I think they have way too many guys. I mean, they come in, they bring in their second string, and their second string just rolls. I mean, yes, I know you're playing in the weak division, but they are just pounding people. And to me, until you see them not cover, it's got to be an autoplay.
Yeah, I know it's been hitting. So, like you said, and until it doesn't, I mean, just keep going.
Yep. I think that's one of the games looking at. I'm also looking at Duke Louisville. Louisville is one of those troubling teams. They've got the best player in the country, but just don't win basketball games.
Yeah, I think. I mean, like Louisville, like their interior D, I think, is really, really good. Like they have really good defense, on the inside, and Yeah, I don't see them beating Duke, but I see them. I see their defense keeping them in the game within like 8 or 9 points, maybe. But you know, I
Is what's his name playing for Duke? The one freshman who's been out the last couple games.
I have to look at the injury report. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, I know. It's the other big guy. Who is his name? Let me look it real quick.
Oh, nice.
Wendell Moore.
Wendell Moore.
Yeah, Moore's the other 6'6" guy who comes in. Yeah, for Duke somehow that's a forward.
I kind of stopped. I kind of honestly I like Duke is not the same Duke team that we're used to. I actually really don't watch their games anymore. Like I'm just kind of like, I'm like, you guys suck. I mean, they don't, but they're actually still a pretty good team, and they're probably gonna make a good run. But it's just kind of they've kind of been like up and down.
Yeah.
So the other
just 1 second. I'm just going to look at a couple live things. We got Dortmund down at the half. I want to see what we're looking at. Probably for Dortmund win the rest of regulation. The game's raining. That's the only thing I don't like. Let's go and see what we've got here real quick. Ooh, that's not bad. I'm going to take Dortmund money line draw no bet at plus 115. So that's going to be an official live play for me. That means as long as they score 1 goal, at worst, I lose my bet. And they basically, if the game ends in a draw, I lose my bet. If Dortmund wins, which has plenty of chances in this game already, I see it pretty good. I like that. What else am I looking at that I like? I was going to look at that Wolves game. Now, there's value in this, and this is the only reason I'm going to take it. You can tell me if or not. This is not going to be official play. This will be a personal play. I'm going to take Wolverhampton draw no bet right now. Money line draw no bet for plus 400, and that's just a value play. I thought Wolves would come in here with a little bit more class. I thought a draw was definitely possible in this game. I think I was going to come around and get a chance for Wolves to win 1-0. That's not going to happen. I can see a 1-1 game. So I'm just taking that on the chance we get the win. I think I'm probably just going to end up pushing on that, but I'm going to go ahead and take that. But that's just a personal play. Which is the game that has a red card there? We got a championship game that has a red card. Not seeing it. Oh, Sheffield Wednesday. Okay. Versus Blackburn. That should be definitely looked at. Real Madrid, we have no score, so I don't see any play yet on that. The number's not there. Sampdoria finally decided to score after giving up 5, so that was good. Nice of them to actually try to figure out, hey, we can get in this game. But boy, was that that game's disgusting. Other than that, all right, let's go kind of back. We'll pack on the pitch. I'll be looking at other options. Sean, what else you got? Oh, hold on. Mr. Newentown is joining us now.
Yo, what up?
What up?
What's up, Jedi Wonder?
Just a little hungover.
You almost, the way your camera's faced, you look like a little Jawa.
Okay. All right. I don't feel like holding the phone right now. A little hungover. A lot hungover. How you boys doing?
Doing all right. You know I'm just messing with you. Yep.
Oh no, it's all good. I expect you to bust my balls. I would expect nothing less. I'm just come on for a minute because I want to talk about this Pitt team. I think I'm like 7-1 on them this year, and they're playing Carolina today. And holy shit, these teams are bad at shooting basketballs. That's all I can say. I hit them last time out. The total was set at 138.5. They came in. I took the under. They came in at 138. So I got out of there barely with a win, but a win was a win. But I see they've adjusted it down to 136. I don't see that either. I don't see both these teams getting there again. I'm just pulling up some quick stats. 2-point shooting. Let's see. Pitt is 263rd in the country. North Carolina is 302 in the country. 3-point shooting. Pitt is 298 in the country, and North Carolina is 306. So they can't shoot it from 2. They can't shoot it from 3, and actually both are pretty good defensive teams. So I see this being, 60, 66, 62 type of game, 65, 64. So that's going to be my quick little play of the day for you guys. We're going to go under hit last time, under will hit again. Both teams can't shoot. Both teams can D up. So that's
are you sure it's D up, or is there's just really bad players in North Carolina right now?
Just can't make a basket.
Maybe they're making up for their lack of offense by, giving it their all on defense, So either way, I mean, they're not a bad defensive team. Pitt's a pretty good defensive team. They just held Louisville in check, probably deserved the win the other night. They outplayed Louisville, actually. But and Sean, neither team can fucking score. It's unbelievable. Pitt is the worst starting team in basketball. They'll get down 16, 18 nothing some games. So we'll see what happens, but that's a game I really like. And then there is another couple games. Sean, how long are you going to be on?
The goal was to be on probably about an hour, a little bit later. Okay. So we're not going to be on too much. Probably 11:30 would probably be the tops, I would think, today. Yeah, my wife would shoot me. She said I can't do what I did last week.
All right. Well, let me run through I'm going to run through the rest of the card here, and if I find something, I'll jump back on.
That sounds good. Yeah, we're going to have Lock on in a couple of minutes here discussing hockey for anybody who's looking at some hockey stuff. Yep.
Hang out for Locke, all you guys that are viewing in. He's amazing. Great job. He's a great asset to the Discord and very knowledgeable, and he'll put some money in your pocket. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Twatty.
Just real quick, Sean, just 2 plays. The other one I like is Kentucky at Arkansas. I think this, again, is an overreaction to the South Carolina loss. I think you're still getting line value with Kentucky at Arkansas. I don't believe in this Arkansas team. I think they're overvalued, similar to like Auburn. Like their record is better than who they are. And I think at the end of it, Kentucky is going to end up being the best team in the SEC. So I think this line is strictly just overreaction to that South Carolina loss. But I think Kentucky bounces back here at Arkansas and wins this one.
Yeah, I'm on Kentucky already. I definitely like that spread. Look, I agree. I think this is a recency bias, and you're basically getting some let's jump on it there. Arkansas's won a couple games in a row. Norwich gets a penalty, unfortunately. It goes up 1-0 on Bournemouth, as we can see from the score. Not on that, Bournemouth picks up a red card, so that earlier good look potential option is out the window. Bournemouth is going to get rolled here. A lot of times it's also kind of interesting when a team picks up a red card and they're playing with 10 guys. You don't sometimes see a huge adjustment on win to regulation, which a lot of people know me. I like to take that as soon as that happens. It's generally a good look to be able to go, okay, can the team that's playing, do they want to actually continue to win and just keep pressing the foot forward, or do they sit back with 10 guys? But a lot of reasons teams push through, and it sometimes ends up being a very easy win. For whatever reason, Bet Online is not giving me that game, so I can't bet win the regulation. Couple things looking at this Carolina game a little bit closer that Twatty talked about. You have a first half point spread of 64.
Over under 64.
Yeah. There's a lot of other games that are worse. I mean, you can put in things. Syracuse, Virginia Tech's 59.5. Baylor's 59. If you think this is going under, don't you almost have to be on the 64 under? Holy cow. Dortmund is basically starting the new year with how to lose, down 2-0 with how to lose, down 2-0.
That
Oh,
Bundesliga, man.
the
Anybody can win
Bundesliga
on
kills
any
you.
given day.
They can. That's why it's a lot of really good time to take the overs. Southampton scores. Wolves score. So Wolves look like they're going to lose. Hopefully, there's no more goals. Hopefully, we get lucky just like last week, and we'll end up with 2 goals in the first half and then nothing for the rest of the time. And we still cash that under 2.5. But not looking good. Not looking good at all. That's a gorgeous strike by Augsburg there. Dortmund's issue is defense, and they're only playing 3 back, which was very interesting today. But this is just causing me grief. Ugh, not a good start for the day. Hoffenheim scores. That's good because personally I'm on the over 3, so I'm not too bad for that. That's 1-1. It's juiced to the under in the first half for North Carolina. So, I mean, if you like the full game, I would just take the first half too and just say, okay, let's see where we're at. And then you can always adjust or take them both. And then you can even get a free parlay middle in the other side. So,
yeah,
those are always things that I like to do. What are the other things I was going to talk about was, what was the other game? Florida State, Miami.
Damn, yo, Miami's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, if they're on point, then I think Florida State. I cannot not bet against Florida State here.
Yeah, the line's going up there. I liked it at 5. It's up to 6 now. I mean, they got completely routed by NC State, and I think this Florida State team is a lot better than NC State. I think Florida State rolls here. As much as I can love Miami, but I think Florida State rolls. JT Thompson, we're not discussing that. We're not giving a yo. But welcome in. We still think Florida State it's terrible, but but yeah, I definitely think they roll. You're getting a first half also with 3. That's not a bad look. The total seems a little low to me. Because I think Florida State,
Miami can't make a basket.
But I think Florida State's going to run and gun.
Right.
And I mean, again, they're averaging 72 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't see Miami slowing them down. So
no, I don't see Miami slowing down. I think they have no size. I think the one big guys there, CJ Walker back from Florida State, is going to absolutely make them kill. And I think they really walk into Miami and win all 10 ways from Sunday. And there we go, Dortmund. We show life 2-1. There we go. Yes,
that goal right there.
We are not done yet. There we go. That's what you want from a heart of a champion. Of course, they won't be champions this year, but we will definitely take that. There you go, Dortmund. How to try to save my money. Julian Brandt, nice turn, 360, left-footed, off the post, gets a little luck there, and we go in.
Look at all these goals coming in right now. Right?
Yeah, that's what we like. Crystal Palace. Who a lot of people call them the Giant Killers because they have a better record versus the top 5 than they do versus the rest of the league. So they are coming in, beating Man City right now. With Man City, by the way, was favored by 2.5 goals.
Wow.
And you look at the second goal comes in. That Brighton team, damn it. I knew we should have been on them. That was free money. Aston Villa absolutely sucks. I am on them in a small parlay, so I'm not that pissed. We'll go ahead and we'll take the goal right there. That's set up. It's going in. I think, like I said, I think this Florida State thing, I almost think it's a KC special. I don't see any way for Miami really to compete here unless they just come in and shoot lights out from 3.
Right.
But if they do that, the over is going to go over, and I think you're going to be perfectly fine.
I mean, the last one that I like is I like Ole Miss at home. Plus, I think it was 4.5 this morning when I was looking. I think they're getting undervalued at home because LSU is coming off back-to-back close wins, right? At Texas A&M, they were like a 6-point dog, and I think they covered. Hey, what's up?
Yep.
Yo.
You can continue just throwing lock in
Keep
here.
going, man. I just wanted to look at myself while you were talking. That's all.
I mean, LSU is coming off back-to-back, close wins at Texas A&M. And the first one was at A&M, and A&M was like a 6-point dog, and they covered that. And then they won, I think, against Mississippi State. I think barely. Mississippi State again covered that at home, and LSU I think won by like 1 point in that game. But if LSU had lost both of those games, as close as they were, this line would be a pick 'em basically. So I think I think this is a spot play here. You got Ole Miss. They're back at home. They've lost 3 out of their last 4, so there's like a big bounce back spot for them to either pull off the upset and beat LSU at home, or at least cover the 4.5 on the spread. So that's my last play there for that.
So you like Ole Miss in that game?
Yeah.
All right. So let me go over the plays just real quick for you, and then we'll grab the lock here. Ole Miss is getting what, 4?
4.5.
4.5. So you like Nova plus 9.5. You got the DePaul at 4.5. Obviously, we've had some line movement since then. You like Florida plus 2, Penn State plus 1, Ole Miss plus 4.5. Did I miss any?
No. It was Uconn plus 9.5, not at Nova.
Oh, not Nova. Yeah, Uconn. Sorry. Yep. All right. That Brighton goal stands. The West Ham gets on the board as well versus Everton. Lock. Welcome to our little show. You've been killing it in NHL. Love to have you on board. Thank you for giving up a little bit of your time. It's nice to put a face to a name here. Kind of say you look a little bit different than the guy in Lost. I will tell you that.
You know what's funny? Is my first name's my legal first name is actually Jonathan. So John Locke was. I haven't actually watched Lost, but I've been asked if I took after the character because I think I had John Locke written somewhere, and I don't know. But yeah, I'm a little younger. I think I was told, right?
Yes. Yep. Definitely. You definitely look a little younger than the character that played Locke, and also right now he's playing a character on the show Evil, which is he's really sadistic on that show. He's actually doing a really good job.
I'll remember that. I'm having a few browser issues. Like my Chrome's doing that frozen thing. Is my video working all right?
Yeah,
your video looks fine.
Okay, my browser isn't loading right now. I can't pull up the YouTube chat and all that stuff, but I can hear you great. So yeah, what did you want to go over today? For just a couple best plays for my NHL, or what did you want to do?
Yeah, best place is fine. That's generally what we're just looking. Just give some people enough time to be able to get some bets in, give some pregame looks, things of that nature. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna pull up the card on my phone since the browser's frozen. So what I just finished the SBR hockey play of the day, and the pick I gave out on that was the Minnesota Wild money line. Now I have it at 54% today for them to win. It's obviously a bit of a precarious spot hosting the Stars, who have been really good defensively for the last few weeks. I mentioned that they're missing their best defenseman this year, Heiskanen. I always mispronounce his name, Finnish guy. But they've got so many. They've got Lindell back there, Klingberg. They're calling up this guy, Steven Johns, I think his name is. He's a physical guy. But basically they have the depth back there to compensate. So it's not Minnesota as a small home dog presents the value. And Dallas is due to sort of regress given, how many goals they're letting in the first period, given how outstanding their defensive numbers have been. It's just unsustainable over an 82-game season. So maybe they still, shut out the Wild today. But with the value play there, it was, 8-9% of value. So I didn't hesitate. The other plays that I've moved on so far, the Washington Capitals money line, that is an early matinee game at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I've taken their money line. I've taken their puck line. Now they're playing in at Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. So, they played a lot of close games with the Islanders. This is sort of an interesting spot because everybody will know Barry Trotz is their former coach that led them to the Stanley Cup 2 years back. And he's now been a season and a half with the Islanders. and they've played some really back and forth games. The Islanders came in and beat Washington 2 weeks ago 4-3. It was a great game, but Washington, after that opening period, I think Islanders went up 2-0. Then Caps scored 3 in a row, took a 3-2 lead, and then lost it narrowly 4-3 in the end. But it was, I thought, the Islanders hanging on for quite a bit of that game. The Capitals' offense is just so high octane, and getting them for such a small. Actually, we might have seen some. Can you check what the line is on the Caps right now? I got it at minus 115. 2 hours ago. I was just checking on the score app. They have it posted at minus 135. Is that right?
I see minus 135. Yeah.
Holy shit! Well, we got ahead of that one. I'm shocked to see the Capitals move that significantly. Because I only have that one again. It's like a 55%, 56 in their favor. But again, you can also just if you just want to play, you could play it. We'll see. If it's a close game, you don't want to really get involved with a regulation bet, a 60-minute bet. But I'm saying if you do take the puck line, don't be afraid to play it as a -1, where you split your wager between both. And I've also taken the over 5.5 for that game, because I just think the Islanders' defense is a bit overrated right now. It has not shown what we saw last year, where they kind of look like the Stars. It's a lot of 3-1, 4-1, 2-2 type games. But this year it's been, look at what the Rangers did to them the other night. It was a 6-2 game, and then
that was that game. Okay, yep.
Yeah, and then they beat them again just 2 nights ago on Thursday, 3-2. But the Islanders, this is not last year's Islanders team. I don't know if the goaltending just has not been up to snuff. But this Capitals team can score on them, and I also think Holtby has not been stellar. He's not in playoff mode. He's been worse than his backup for most of the season, Samsonov. So those are the 2 games I've moved on so far. Oh, and I've also taken the Kings money line against Philly, and nothing else on that game yet. But me, I'm very high volume, so I will be posting everything later in the day.
Yeah, if you look at my play, I'm definitely on high volume. Sometimes it kind of helps when you get the oddball there. If you only give one play as a premium play,
exactly,
sometimes just kills you.
Well, and like you'll see, like, so example, on Tuesday I had a great day. I had a 14-unit day. On Thursday I have a minus 20-unit day. This is the swing. I bet multiple sports. I do post esports, I post basketball. So this is only a percentage of what I'm getting done in a week, but you'll have those swings. The nice thing is, even though the dips over a 24-hour period might seem severe to your bankroll, this is no different than maybe over having a bad month where you're down 12 units in a month, and it takes you so long to get back up because of how low your volume is. You might need to spend 6 weeks getting back past that 12-unit loss you had through 1 month. So yes, 20 units was shitty for that day, but it's with my volume, I'm going to have 2,000 picks in the next 3 months. So no, sorry, another 700, 2,000 on the season. So it's not unsustainable to overcome that type of dip. So it
definitely helps out. A lot of times you'll have those big days where you go 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, or 7-2, but just sometimes having those days where you go 5-3, that helps push you along with that unit total versus just trying to hit on those 2 games that there. There's different strokes for different folks. Different people definitely like different things, but that's kind of more my style too. Yep.
I think the other thing is if you it depends what you think of an edge. So you might look at like an NFL game and you say, I have it at, this is a +7, and I have it should really be a +10. So I have, 3 points of value. The probability is a bit off. Everybody has a different threshold for what they see as, a very likely winner, or some people will ask for locks. Well, really what they're saying when they're asking for a lock or your best bet is the play that you think is going to hit most often, but that might not represent the greatest edge compared to the market, which is why I play so many dogs in the NHL and in esports, because even though the play is less likely to hit, it might only be 35 to 40% to hit, over 100 of those where the line is priced at 25%, I'm going to make a nice, return. So that's how I see it. We don't need to talk too much of that boring shit, though. I know you guys have a lot to sports to get through, but my browser's frozen, so I'm going to refresh it. I'll come join your chat and listen to the rest of the show there.
All right, thanks for having you on, Locke. Look forward to having you on again in the future.
Absolutely, guys.
Yep.
Anytime.
Yeah. Thanks,
All
man.
right. Thanks. See you later.
Yeah, real quick. Pyra is a bot. It's that person that keeps trying to. Don't they keep trying to like sell us on something? In the chat, people are asking about. I guess
we can go ahead and remove that from the Discord. If you hadn't been watching and watching me get excited, Dortmund has tied the game up. It's 3-3. They were down 3-1. They're going Jordan Sancho coming through. We are still live in the plus 400. We are still live in the Dortmund money line. We are not dead yet. I am stoked. Also, on track scored, so my personal over 3 is at least a push. Wait, do we what do we got here? Augsburg is do we have a penalty? Do we? Oh, Royce just missed a one-on-one with the keeper. Dortmund. Oh, we're pushing this. This is great. I'd actually almost look at what's the live line on over 7 goals, because neither team is playing any defense. This is if you don't like soccer, this is an absolute gorgeous game to watch. Yeah, this is I see that. Yeah, right now the over 6.5 is frozen. Yes, it's really fun when you have a soccer game that you're betting on over 6.5. That's definitely Did that go the way we thought it was going to go? No, probably not.
No.
Arsenal scored 2. Some of you probably saw me. I got stoked with that. We're 1-0. Our Brighton play is 1-0. That's not too bad. Our Bournemouth play is dead. Our Wolves possible play looks dead. Lazio 1 going away 5-1. My co-host, who's I don't know where he's at, is stoked because he's got the halftime full-time Lazio that was 5-1. It was never in doubt. Trying to get something real quick on that Florida State game. I noticed basically it kind of went up that I was going. It's kind of an odd look you're looking. What other sports are you looking at? Are you doing any MMA tonight? I'm not going to be an MMA capper. I've got a buddy.
Yeah, I'm not a capper, but I got I did a little bit of I've been obviously listening to Jay and Dave. I looked at their picks, and then there are a couple other people. So I actually have some picks that I'm going to play. Maybe some random ones that I might parlay together. So we'll see. I was kind of hoping that, get this basketball out of the way, get a lot of profit here, and then, play around with that a little later tonight with the UFC.
So, who do you think wins the big fight? Are you on pro Ferguson, or are you against?
I think McGregor wins that.
Yeah, I think too. My buddy swears up and down it's Cowboy. Because
every time I've watched Cowboy, he just gets knocked out. Like they throw. I think the past 2 times he just get like he's not. I feel like what is that? Like that head trauma is there. You just tap the guy in the head and he's blacked out.
Yeah, you definitely wonder if CTE is definitely playing a part here. Jump Shot Jordan put a bunch of things in. So what my buddy does is he does 2-team parlay MMAs. So he basically sets up round robins with 4 people, and over under. It's probably because we don't get any of the exotic bets, the inside the distance, and all those other fun bets that you see other people doing, or by submission, those kind of fun things. We have crappy books here, so it's what he does. So the one things that he really likes, he's like, and I saw Jay actually agreed with this. We like the over 1.5 in the final fight with Ferguson. To go over 1.5 rounds. You're going to give decent money on that. I think Ferguson wins too. My buddy's all over Cerrone, but I think Ferguson wins. But I I do agree with the one thing. If Cerrone's going to win, he's going to win somehow by submission. So I know someone in the chat put Cerrone by sub. So if you're going to take Cerrone at already plus 245, by subs got to be paying, what, 300, 400. So it's not a bad play to offset your stuff. I think Macy Barber wins. I don't think that's there. I like Holly Holm. I'm trying to figure out why the line's so low.
I'm on Holly Holm. I'm on Sadiq Youssef, and Hawk Perest is the other guy. So I think those are pretty confident plays there.
Yeah, and I some of the other stuff, I mean, Macy Barber wins. The only thing you're going to have to take is by knockout or TKO, or you're going to take a round, because other than that, her price is so disgusting. But again, I don't think she has that many fights under her belt. No. If I recall, last time it was like one real UFC fight, and she beat the crap out of somebody. So you should have like an entire like overreaction to this could be occurring, but I don't think she's a minus 900 where I would put any kind of money in the fight.
By the way, I was looking at the chat. McGregor.
Yeah, that's one thing we're looking at on McGregor. I think wins. I think they're also setting it up for McGregor to win. I don't think there's any chance they want the other person to win. Jump shot Jordan's on Askarov. I'm not on this fight at all. Tim Elliott and Askarov, I can tell you anything about this, but again, I'm just telling you what Jump Shot Jordan does. He does do pretty well. He's got Askarov money line, Askarov by sub. Askarov wins in round 1. Askarov under 2.5 rounds. So
my friend who's a big UFC guy actually sent me that because he follows UFC a lot, and he has Askarov winning as well. So that's probably a pretty good play. If you want to tail that, that's probably a good option there. Since he's got basically him winning, he's putting 4 units essentially on him winning before 2.5 rounds, and even thinks he has a good possibility to win in round 1. So yeah, that's probably something to look at taking there. Maurice Greene is another guy. I know a couple people like him as well. That's looking at him, and he also likes Drew Dauber money line plus 245. So one thing I will say, since SBR moved to odds markets, and someone might know this better, it was a little harder to find any of the normal publications and get some of their take, because Jay and Dave Betts generally has a very good take on their stuff. It might help my bank book better that the articles aren't there, but it definitely, for some information, they're definitely very, very good. So maybe take that, or maybe take this shot on Drew Barber plus 245. Let me know if you guys can't hear me, because I think my headset just died. No, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Did we get another goal? Oh, come on, Royce. We almost got that 4th goal. We almost took the place. Twatty's giving Colorado versus Arizona over 140. Sean wants to know your thoughts on that.
Colorado versus Arizona. Oh, did Colorado, they won, right? They won the other night on the road when they went in.
That was the only time where we kind of went head to head, and I won so far. That was that was there, but I don't think it was you. I was thinking of somebody else at Arizona State, and I was on Colorado. Yep.
I think that was me. Yeah, we were on opposite sides on that one. I mean, in that one, I think that one goes over. I mean, Arizona's been surprisingly just putting up a lot of points at home. I think this game is Colorado at. I think they're on the road at Arizona. Twatty, I like that a lot. I think it goes over the 140 between both of these teams.
Oh, does it count? Now the flag went up.
Offside.
That was almost Eric Hallman's debut. So Eric Holland, I don't even know. I got to figure out how to pronounce his name. But if you haven't noticed, Dortmund made one big signing on this end. They got the kid Eric Holland. He was playing for Salzburg. He's an absolute stud. He's 19 years old. He's come into this game. He's already scored once. He almost just scored again. He is actually going to be one of the next great players there for Dortmund. Actually, this is going to VAR.
I still have mixed feelings about VAR. Only when it works against me.
Nope. A video assistant says no goal. Goal. Oh, no offsides. It counts. Dortmund all the way. 4-3.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. It counts. 4-3. Boom. Bam. Also, it makes my over 7.5 live. Let's go. Keep going. Eric Holland again. Bam. Look at that easy goal. I could have scored that. Yes, this Dortmund game is great. This is a way to get back into Bundesliga. Here you go. This is Goalsliga back. This is what we like. If you're a fan of soccer, that's what you want. You're not a fan of the Premier League, which basically you could add up the goals together and has like 6. Where the Bundesliga only has 5 games being played. You can add them together, it's like 14. Obviously, this game is being a big deal, but you've got Köln 3-1, you've got Eintracht 2-1, you got Freiburg over a terrible Mainz team 2-0. We got Leipzig better at 11:30. This is why we like the Goalsliga. Fun action end to end to watch. Hopefully, Dortmund stops playing 3 in the back now that they finally took the lead, because they could easily concede this lead as quick as they actually got this league bad. All right, let's take a look at other things else. Have you looked at NBA at all? I know you're not a big NBA guy, but there's a couple lines in here that are absolutely strange. Maybe some guys in the chat can help me out. You've got the Clippers and Pelicans. Line started at 233. It's back up to 234 now and climbing. All I see is Paul George out. I see tons and tons of points in this game. I don't see anything else but the Pelicans running and the Clippers running right after them. I also only see a 5.5. Is there something odd here on a 5.5? I know it's on the road. I know you're looking at, but
is there any injuries or anything, or anybody?
Well, I mean, the Clippers could be without Mo Harkless, but I'm not sure Mo Harkless is moving the needle. At one point, he's moving it to the under because he actually plays defense. But Ingram's playing. JJ Redick is a game time decision. There's nobody else expected out from the Clippers. That's just a gorgeous move. Boop, boop, boom. And they're getting another corner. Come on, Dortmund. Let's go. Let's get a 2-goal lead and just relax this. Come on. Let's go, boys.
76ers are at the Knicks tonight. Is that right? It's only a 4-point line. Oh, I guess 76ers played last night, right? They're on a back-to-back. Sean, you there? Am I? Something happened? I can't hear you. What the fuck is going on? Hello? Test. Hey, Sean, do you hear me? I'm having issues. I can't hear. Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. I didn't know it was okay, I thought it was me. Sean's got to read the chat because I don't think he knows that he's dead. Sean. I'll, Sean, your headset is dead. Can't hear you.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, we missed all your
You're
like
dead.
25 plays that we could have been winning.
All right, did we talk about the Clippers? Did you guys hear that?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh crap! Damn, you guys should have definitely told me. All right, okay. I was trying to ask
We were
basically.
trying.
I was wondering why I wasn't getting no feedback. Can you, Shaft? Can you hear me now? Shaft, can you hear me? Someone in the chat, just respond if they can hear me.
Drexel. Okay.
I'm not hearing anybody respond.
Yeah, he said, "There we go." I think everybody can hear you now.
All right, sorry about that.
D Money wants the lock of the morning.
The lock of the morning to me already happened. The lock of the morning to me, my favorite play of the day was at 3:30 a.m. If you tailed that was Melbourne City -1. That was my favorite play, which I gave out in the Discord. I think Yella tailed it. He might have been the only person awake at that time.
I was awake. I was just wasted. I got back from the bar. I don't even know what happened, but
well, I saw Just Mercy last night, so I wasn't. I was up for a while, so that was a really good movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. So yeah, it does feel like some of you would probably say you go to a movie every week. Yeah, 2017 was really good. Just Mercy was really, really good. Definitely would be able to tell you. I was trying to say, does anybody know why the Clippers are a 5.5 dog at the Pelicans? The only person I can see out is Paul George, maybe Mo Harkless. But Mo Harkless, to me, leads this more towards the under. But I right now I'm going Clippers in the over. Because if the Pelicans are going to win, they're going to have to score. And if the Pelicans are going to score and cover that spread, it's going to go over. It was at 230. It was at 233. It's now at 234. Is there? I mean, what are your thoughts? That and the what I was talking about earlier was the Sixers at New York -4. Do we suddenly believe that the Knicks are actually going to beat the Sixers?
No.
Yes. 5-3. Go Dortmund. Over 7.5 cashes. Dortmund looks like we're going to win this. Eric Holland gets a hat trick, baby. Hat trick.
Wow.
Hat trick. What a signing. Your first Bundesliga game and you score a hat trick. And he's 19 years old. Oh, he's going to have fun tonight.
MT13 saying the Lonzo effect.
Lonzo effect, my man. You think Lonzo Ball is going to have that much of a change for 5.5 points versus the Clippers? I mean, the Clippers last night were like last game were like who were they toying with? They were toying with the Magic. The game was close. They won by 8 in the first half. They won by 11. Then they scored 4. Then they scored 12 in the fourth quarter and said it's a done. I mean, the Magic are a better team than the Pelicans. I mean, Zion's not playing this game. He's not playing until next week. Someone's got to explain to me why on earth is it only 5.5?
Is Zion going to be the biggest like hyped up person that like just does nothing? Like I see it going that way.
You guys all know. Well, most of you know my take on Zion.
Yeah.
Zion is a smaller, fatter, more athletic Ben Simmons.
I can see that.
The shot is a little bit better, but the shot is forever It's forever.
All
It's
right.
going to be interesting when he tries to pull that shot up against, like, okay, we'll use Mo Harkless. I think Mo Harkless will block that shot almost every single time.
Right.
He's going to have to be able to beat up bigger guys, and I don't see that happening on a consistent basis. I think he's going to be great in the open court. Open court, I think he'll be great. I think, though, if you get any kind of set offense, yes, I know we don't really run any set offenses anymore in basketball, but I don't see it. I think he'll be a solid player. I don't think he's going to be as great as they think he's going to be. I could be eating crow in a couple of years. Who knows? That's my personal opinion on that. Wolves score, kills are under 2.5. Hopefully the Wolves can at least tie this up, and I can walk out of my live bet.
We got the money given out of play here. Take Patrick Beverley over the points in that game, the Clippers game.
Yeah, I can see it. But D Money knows basketball. KG knows basketball. What does your model say? Any reason why? I know Sixers on the road, but it's the same thing that I said last week. They're not the same Sixers. You can't look at this team and say, hey, they're on the road, so they automatically can't win. They went to the Pacers and played them tough on Monday. Yes, they lost to the Mavericks, but this is the Knicks.
I mean, Rob just brought up a good point that the 76ers are really good against the spread on back-to-back.
I think it's a different team. I think you're going to want to run. This team just wants to run. That's all you're going to do. Without a beat, it's going to be, can we run? And if they post up Ben Simmons or Ben Simmons drives, who on the Knicks is stopping them? I don't see it. I mean, Alfred Payton. I think Alfred Payton versus him. I'd go to that play every single time. Even if you put Julius Randle. Julius Randle's not going to be down in the paint because he's going to have to sit there and guard Tobias Harris on the outside. I think that's a gift. I think personally, to me, I'd be on the Clippers -5.5. Like, put that in a parlay. Start your parlay up. End it with the Philly -4. If you don't like it, you should be able to get out of that game at one point. I don't see the Knicks coming out and taking a 20-point lead or something like that. Ben Simmons, since they changed, is just cashing his over points. Also, is my favorite player prop playing? Which a couple of you tailed last time. It was like, who the hell is this guy? The books still haven't figured out Devontae Graham scores about 20 points every game. If you literally look and have a chance generally to take Hornets games and you see they're on a high total, take Devontae Graham points over. Or take points, rebounds, assists. The books haven't figured out. They keep putting it at like 18. And they're like, okay, no problem. He cashed that last time in the third quarter.
I really like 76ers -4. I know D Money's on that too, is what he's saying. I like that look in NBA.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'd throw that in with the Knicks, throw that in with your MMA play, something early, and then just be able to sit there. And if you want to get out, you can get out if you're having a bad day. I don't understand the number at all. So is there any, before we wrap this up or look to get to the end, anybody have anything else they're looking at? Twatty putting most of the locks plays, Washington money line, Washington -5.5, Kings money line, Islanders over 5.5. I see it at 6 now. Minnesota money line is 2.01. Those are the plays of that. Let's see how we go. Royal Charlie's getting ready to kick off here in 40. If you don't know, in Belgium, they're playing a really weak team. They should win that game hands out. I have no question really on that game. That's also, they're giving you a pretty solid even number to be able to play. Charlie's missing a couple guys, but none of them are major contributors, so that should be there. Schmidt's the only one guy is he going to kind of play?
Rob's asking, do you like Torino today? I think they were asking before about that.
Yeah, I went into the Torino whole thing, and you missed the whole thing that I said. So
that's what you were going off about?
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit background when you look at Torino. Torino at home versus Sassuolo is generally a good bet. They've won the last 3 at home. When they've been on the road at Sassuolo, they have drawn 5 straight games. So, and every game's gone under 2. or 1-1. So Sassuolo getting a draw double chance is probably has value. The only issue is also what I was trying to say is you look at this game, Sassuolo scored more goals than Torino. They've scored 30 on the year. Torino scored 25. The difference is Sassuolo's given up 34 and Torino's given up 26. Neither are really, really good teams. So unless you're going to go Torino draw no bet and you're just going to say hopefully they're going to come out, but more value would be either draw double chance on either Torino or Sassuolo, or just take a small pound and take the draw. Coming into this game, I mean, that's the one thing you look at. You got to remember coming into this game, nobody's played. Nobody's played in a while for the most part. You did the Serie A has been playing for a little bit. You had Udinese that beat up Sassuolo away 3-0. Torino beat a terrible Bologna team, won on the 12th. But again, it's been some time since these teams played. Both teams are healthy, but neither of these teams are strong. To me, if you want to make a slight touch on a draw no bet on whichever side you like, but I can definitely look at the draw since the last 5 games have all drew at Sassuolo. Real Madrid scores, so that's good. Someone finally decided to put a goal in the back of the net. That's nice, 1-0. Still hanging on. We're still looking at the English Premier League. We can't score to save our life league. Man City still trailing to Crystal Palace. If you were to took this, but pre-game, it would have been plus 2,100.
Wow. Should have put $100 down. Damn it.
Should have put $10 down. It just said, all right, that would have been there. And Crystal Palace has done that. It was even brought up in the Premier League Punters show that it was like, okay, put beer money on Crystal Palace because they beat them last year.
Right.
So to think that they would come out there and can't beat them again was ludicrous. They beat them at City last year. Now, granted, it was towards the end of the year where things didn't really even matter about the win or loss there. All right, we've got about 6 more minutes in this Dortmund game to hopefully cash a winner. Wolves died. That's one of our losses there. Last 15 minutes, any other looks we're looking at from anybody in the chat? As always, like we said, this is an open show. Anybody wants to join is welcome to join. I'm going to put links in the chat. Just get in touch with me in any particular way. Mostly everybody I hear is on the Discord. There's a couple other people I see that aren't. If you're not on the Discord, the link's in the description. Get on the Discord. We're talking all sports, all days, all the time. Lots of great cappers, lots of great people. We grow by, as KG said, working off each other. All of us get better. All of us get better looks, see what people are talking about, thought strings, all theirs, people close to the cities, knowing a little bit more that's going on than you. Yes, definitely would get into the Discord. Oh, what a terrible pass by Dortmund. Is there
real quick, I'll have some just to let them know, I'll have some tennis plays up later. I was actually filling out the bracket.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get Australian Open. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I it's crazy just because they've had that couple these warm up matches or these warm up tournaments down there, and it's been with all the smoke and fires going on. There's been they've had to stop matches. It's kind of annoying because you place a bet and then it's like you're expecting the match to finish, but then they stop it till the next day. You got to wait just because of air quality. Sometimes there's just smoke coming into the stadium. People are getting sick. So it's really, really bad. But they're still going to go with it. And I think they have 3 indoor courts that they said that they would use. So the whole fires thing is it's causing big issues. But going back to it, I was looking at the men's draw is going to be, it's either going through one of the top 4 is going to either lift that trophy. It's either going to be Federer, Medvedev, Nadal, or Djokovic. For me, it's looking like it's probably going to be Djokovic. If you look at his path, he has the easiest path out of everyone to get there. So and on the men's side, I honestly think he's going to win this. So if there is a futures bet, I would put a little on Djokovic. I know it probably won't be a lot, but I don't see anybody else really taking him out.
Okay.
You don't
think it's Nadal?
No, Nadal, because this is hard court. Nadal's a clay specialist. He's the best clay court specialist, but on hard court, Djokovic just beat him at the ATP Cup, so he's rolling in there with confidence. He's actually beaten him like the past 2 times on hard courts. Nadal's susceptible on hard court, so he could even lose in the semifinal, because I have Medvedev coming into the semifinal, and that's a rematch from the U.S. Open where Nadal beat Medvedev, took him to 5 sets, but was able to squeak it out. So it's an upset spot by Medvedev for some revenge. So he might not even make it to he makes a semifinal, but he might not even make it out of that. So. But yeah, Djokovic should just easily clobber the whole field and go right through.
Who is the easier draw?
Djokovic has the easier draw.
Okay.
Because Nadal's got to go through. He's either going to end up meeting Nick Kyrgios or Karen Khachanov. And Kyrgios hates Nadal, and he's in Australia, and it's in his home country, so I think he has the most talent. I think he's actually the most talented tennis player in the world, but he just has no discipline, no coach. He really doesn't care. But when he does care, he plays out of his mind. So I think he'll rise up to Nadal. So Nadal's got some hard people in the 4th round. Kyrgios in the quarterfinals. I have him meeting Dominic Thiem, who's like the fifth best in the world. And then if he gets past Thiem, he's got to face Medvedev. So he's got some tough opponents coming up. But yeah, in that first round, I should have some picks up. One that I really like that I was looking at early is Fabio Fognini versus Riley Alpaca. I'm going to go with Alpaca here, only because he's the more consistent guy. And then even when he's in trouble, he has his serve. This guy is 7 foot, 250 pounds. Not the most. He's actually pretty mobile for a guy that big. He can move laterally, but he just has a monster serve. He just serves at like 150 miles per hour. He's 7 foot. He towers over the net, so you don't even have to worry about him hitting the net. And you can't stop it. You can't stop his serve. So in that first round, that's one right now that I'm looking at that I really like.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Okay, so that's Alpaca. I'll look in the Discord to see how the world to spell that, but okay. Yeah. What about on the women's side?
The women's is like really interesting because that one is like there is no really like dominant woman. I mean, there's Ashley Barty. She's Australian. It's in her home. I actually have her winning this tournament. I think if you want to talk about dominant, she's been the most dominant over the past like 7-8 months. But there's a lot of people who aren't the top 8 picks that can go on a run and can win this. So Yastremska, who was just playing, I think she lost to Ash Barty. Actually, she's looked really, really good. So we were talking before, you and me, about Serena Williams.
Yeah.
In her path, she's got to either face Yastremska or Joanna Konta in the 4th round. So that could be a potential upset right there. Yastremska could take Williams. She's really coming into form right now, and she's like really dangerous. And if Serena's weakness is that, you have to make her move side to side. If she has to run back and forth, she's not going to be able to. So, and Yastremska does a really good job of that. But I think Osaka and then after that, Williams has to face Osaka. So I really think either Ash Barty or Naomi Osaka is going to end up winning this. So I don't see Serena, if she does make it past Yastremska, I don't see her making it past Osaka in the quarterfinals.
Osaka's the little Asian girl that played in the U.S. Open, right? That went pretty far. Yep.
Yeah, she's half black, half Japanese.
Yep.
So I think that one. I don't think Halep's going to do that well. I know a lot of people are like behind her, but she just hasn't been consistent at all. She, she's got talent, but she hasn't really shown or done anything. So I think, and she's got a pretty tough draw. She's got to face Danielle Collins, who just played in the last week tournament, who did really, really well. So she's looking really good. So Danielle Collins could knock out Halep, I think, or Jennifer Brady, who's also really good too. They have a big chance of beating her. The last person, real quick, is Vaughn Russa. I think she's the dark horse in the bottom of the bracket. She's proven in the past that she can perform at Grand Slams. She's actually made it pretty far in Grand Slams, and she just looks really, really good. So that's also in betting the lines when I go, she'll be definitely, depending on what her matchup comes in that second round. I think she's definitely a dark horse to take to beat some people. So that's kind of my looks right now at that.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, it definitely. I've seen a lot of chat on this Barta girl. I don't know anything about this.
Barta, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people liked it. Sevilla scored, tied the game up, but it looks like Real's about to pound one in right now. We're just waiting to get confirmation of the goal. Hopefully it counts. Arsenal had a VAR check, the possible penalty. It went negative. Still holding on to a 1-0 lead with Arsenal. God, that's like ass clinching 101. There's nothing. Mike just told me he just woke up, so unfortunately he's going to miss the second show again. All right, so before we wrap up here, last 3 minutes, want to say thanks to everybody for joining. A lot of good plays that we have out there. Other things just kind of say that's remaining. If you haven't got on, there's a couple of good soccer plays to get on. I don't really have any take on this Leipzig Union Berlin. I may throw Leipzig -1.5 and an ACA, but that's about it. If you want to throw Leipzig to win in an ACA, you want to do it a double with Chelsea. I think those are solid plays. You'll probably get maybe +100 on that. There's the Gent Waragime game later today. Muskron has the Muskron game. Sorry, I went too up there. That's a very interesting game. When you look at those two squads, they score 3 goals every time, at least when they play. If you can get an over 2.5, I definitely like that, or both teams to score an over 2.5. That would be definitely a good play. If you could get, if you want to just take the over 3, I think at worst you're going to do is push in the Jupiler League, and that game's at 2:30 later today. We talked about the Torino game. I'm not really on that. I kind of gave you the plays and what you'd look at there. I do like Feyenoord -1. Another good ACUP thing was Az Alkmaar in the Eredivisie at 2:45. That's a really good one. We're already on Atletico Madrid. That's at 3 o'clock if you haven't looking to get on. There's a really great game in the Wales thing where you have the two heavyweights, the New Saints, or better known as TNS, versus Canis QA. They generally play each other tight. This is the one game where I don't just run ahead and take the New Saints in an ACA. But they are at home. The New Saints are disgustingly 2 out of their last 11. 11-2 at home. They destroy everybody. They are the top of the league. They're up only, but it's only a 1 point away over Canis Quay. So to be very weary of that. So that's not one I'm running out and just taking. Swansea scores. We're up 2-1 on that. That should look good. If these last games right now finish where they're at, Arsenal's going to get a nice free kick on top of the box. All right, let's go. Let's get the second goal by Arsenal and be happy on that. If we're looking at the live action that I gave, we gave the Dortmund draw no bet live. That was our first play. That cash, that was nice. We gave the Wolves draw no bet. I can't remember if I said that was a personal play or not, but I took it. It was +400. Right now it's 2-2. Hopefully we could just at least push on that. We're already on Swansea. That's pretty good. The replay Sean's plays. We had Uconn +9.5, 9.5. Depaul +4.5. Florida +2. Penn State +1. Ole Miss +4.5. I personally like the Clips -5.5, Philadelphia -4. We also talked about Florida State -6. I also like the over in that game that we talked about. We both. Oh, Kentucky is the other one we didn't put. You got 1.5 on that, right? Sean?
I got 1.5. Do you hear me?
Kentucky,
Oh,
yeah, I get you. Kentucky +1.5. We like the play on that. Locke came and joined us. That was great. Gave us Wild money line, Caps money line, and Kings money line. He also has more plays in the Discord if you're interested. Twatty gave us the small-time school college play of the day. NC State AT&T at Coppin State under 146. He also gave us the Tar Heels. He's staying with this North Carolina theme. Gave us the under 136.5. I already saw that drop to 135.5 and continuing dropping. Sean gave us some great plays on some great possible Australian Open future bets if you want to get those in. Other than that, I just want to say it's been a wrap, guys. Thank you all for coming and joining. We're possibly looking at doing this. I kind of like doing the 10 o'clock thing for an hour and a half in the morning. Let me know if you guys like that. We want to continue and go on. Tell your friends about it. Not too bad. 12 to 15 people in the chat. It's great. Good luck with all your bets today. Thank you. Have a good day.
Good luck, guys.